Hi guys, it's Mysopods and more with me. I hope everything is going well with you and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. And it has been a long and trying past several weeks. Not necessarily in a negative way, but you're probably here for an unboxing. So at the end of this video, I'm going to unpack and unwrap some things that I'm not going to talk about now because you're probably here for that unboxing. So I do want to talk about three things very quickly, with that first thing being this is an unboxing, but at the end I do want to talk about what transpired and the kindness of Rus and Aquarimax, because I think it's important to stress that. The second thing is that this is a part one of two parts. As I mentioned, I'm going to be unboxing some material. I have other stuff coming, but this unboxing is going to be a part one. The part two is actually going to be when I use the material to make an enclosure. But that's going to be a separate video. Feel free to check that out. The last thing is I want to talk about positive and negative stress very quickly. That's not something you're obligated to hang out for. But again, regardless, that's going to be at the end of this video. So let's get into the unboxing. I hope everything's going well with you. You're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love, and having a wonderful holiday. If you don't celebrate the holidays, I just hope you're having a great day. If not, let me know in the comment section below and I'll see if I can make the day a little better for you. Go easy. Alright guys, so bear with me and be gentle. This is my first unboxing, so I'm trying my best. Trying to talk and go through. I'm excited about this. It's not anything crazy, mind you, but for me, it's amazing. I may pause depending on the paperwork in here. If something comes out, I want to make sure I edit anything out. I may not come to that. And this is what I ordered from Rus and Aquarimax. I'm very excited about this. Let's see if I can zoom in here in one moment. And this is one thing I'm more excited about, because I always mention I'm constantly chasing that leaf dragon, and I always am trying to get more and more leaf litter. So in fact, it was one of my setup videos where Russ stopped by and suggested that I add more leaf litter, which I'm going to start doing. But this is what I ordered. I hope that comes out well enough. And that is the end of the unboxing. But thank you for spending this time with me. I hope everything's going well with you. You're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. And now I'm going to go into the overview or wrap-up where I talk about a few other things. So here we are at the wrap-up, and I want to talk about what happened with Rus and Aquarimax. And it is just a testament to his kindness, which is, well, first off, if you don't know who Rus and Aquarimax is and you're into isopods, you're welcome, because introducing you to him, you just hit a gold mine. So I suggest you go over there and check everything out. He's wonderful. But what happened was, I always say I'm not that smart, and I have not used PayPal. I had one for years, I always say, back in another life. And in that other life, I lived at another address, and I haven't used PayPal since then. And I don't think I used it. I think what happened is my ex made it for me because I didn't want to use it, and we needed it, so we set it up, and I haven't touched it since. And when I ordered this material, I had to go and reuse my PayPal for the first time in X amount of years, and I, not knowing, left my old address on there because I never thought to change it. I ended up changing it after the fact anyway, but my point was, when I started that, it generated the address for Russ's label based on that old address. So it sent it to my old place. I was really bummed out. Not at him, obviously, but I just thought it was very cosmically ironic, because in one of his videos, he mentioned something about how in the UPS order history, it showed that it shipped it on his end before it even shipped, and then it shipped again. And so I thought, what are the odds that that happened to me at that same time? And it didn't. What happened was it sent to the wrong address. I was just misreading it. So he was very patient, got it, sent it back right away. Now, so that was about that. he was very accommodating, sent it out immediately. Now, I do want to talk about the second part of what is going on, but I'm going to shift perspectives here and catch you in a minute. So, these are my clowns. And what happened was, I originally intended to buy this substrate along with some clowns from Rus and Aquarimax, and I was going to reseed this entire colony into that substrate. I was going to set up the substrate into an enclosure when the material got here, which is what that second video is going to be. And I was going to let that sit. Then in the time Rus shipped the clowns, it could set itself, establish itself in terms of the bioactive environment that it needs. But what I ended up finding, much to my chagrin, which I'm not finding any of right now, is white dwarfs, and I'll set up some of the other video in a moment. So after I found these guys, life threw me a curveball, and sometimes when life hands you dwarf whites, you build a new enclosure. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to take the clowns individually out of this bin when I reseed that new bin and set it up with the stuff from Rus, and let it go. And then when he sends those clowns, take these bubbas out along with the ones that are coming in, seed them together, and make an unboxing / housing video with that. So again, things didn't work out too great, but they always work out because I try to keep a positive attitude. What I'm also probably going to do is keep the majority of this bin isolated for a while and make it a miscellaneous bin where I can throw things in if I'm worried about contamination and pick individuals out. I'm going to hopefully be picking clowns out of here for a while, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the dwarf whites, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, really quickly, I want to talk about positive and negative stress. And I try to use a pretty clear example, and it could be substituted for anything. But if you have a job, let's say you have a twin, a best friend, whatever, you both work at the same job, and you both get a call, hey, it's Sunday right now, and you get a call that you have to come in an hour. Positive and negative stress is interesting because you can have experience the same event and experience it completely differently, and a lot of that can come down to your perspective on life and your perspective on the event. So you get that phone call, and I get that phone call, let's say, and we both have to come in an hour, and man, it's Sunday, I don't want to come in. I just started doing all my isopod stuff. I just started setting up bins. I don't want to come in. So I get frustrated. I get angry. I don't want to do this. I'm going to go in, do the bare minimum, if that, maybe see if they'll just send me home, maybe, do whatever. My attitude's going to stink. I'm going to come home. If I have people here with me, my attitude may stink based on that. And that could be an example of a negative stressor, where you may have that same phone call and say, okay, well, that's very unfortunate. I didn't have plans to do that, but I'm going to make some extra money. I'm going to go in and show my boss that I can do this. And it's my job, so that's expected of me. I may not want to do it, but I'll go in and do what needs to get done, and know that the quicker and more motivated I am in getting that task or errand done, the sooner I get out and can come back to do these things that I want to do. Again, positive and negative stress can come down to something simple as your perspective, and it gets more difficult to navigate things like that when things get more difficult to navigate, depending on the problem. But very often you can mitigate your stress by trying to take that positive attitude. And the last thing I'll say about that is, most of the times, my opinion and in my experience personally, the times that you grow the most are the times that are the most difficult. You don't find much growth, you don't get much experience, you don't get new experiences and new forms of knowledge, you don't meet new people, all these things if you approach something simply. You get all those things when something's difficult. You have to learn things. You may have a little bit of negative stress sprinkled in there, but you handle it because of your positive attitude. You can grow a lot more from experiences like that, in my opinion. So adversity is not bad. Just try to keep that positive attitude. With all of this, I got really frustrated with the delay in the packaging. Now the whole project is somewhat delayed, both because of Winter and Russ not wanting to ship the isopods, which to me is 100% understandable because I care more about the lives of the isopods than my eagerness to get them being sated. But that with the issue with the dwarf whites, I'm a sci-fi and fantasy nerd, and I've never liked dwarves, and I've always called them dwarfs to be derogatory towards them. So if you ever hear me say that, it's not that I'm uneducated, it's that I don't like dwarfs. So yeah, getting those, that whole curveball with the dwarf whites being in with my clowns, again, through a curveball. But I look at it positively because I've had to have gone through that bin eventually anyway, but furthermore, it gives me something to do. I get to go through, pick that bin apart, see what it is. Maybe they're not dwarf whites. Maybe I'll find some mankai in there, but I'll just check out my clowns, see how everything's going on, and then start to assess what I'm going to need to do for their next bin. Not ideal and not optimal, but, you know, sometimes life hands you dwarf whites and you make another enclosure out of it. So hope everything's going well with you. Thank you so much, Rus at Aquarimax. I appreciate everything. For the rest of you, go easy, take care of yourselves, take care of the ones you love, enjoy the holidays, and enjoy each other.